Good morning, how are you? So we're back for another language lesson. This is the one that we would have done on Friday, but got pushed forward to today. So first I want to start off with a review of our pronoun cases. So let's start with our subjective or nominative case. And this is the one where we use the word go behind it to remind us that these can be used as subjects or predicate nominatives. So you should be saying these along with me at home. I go, you go, he goes, she goes, it goes, we go, you go, they go. Now the objective case, this is the one where we had the preposition to in front of it because they can be a direct object or an object of a preposition. And it's to me, to you, to him, to her, to it, to us, to you, to them. And then lastly, our possessive case where they're showing possession. And this is the one where we use the word books with it to remind us that it's showing possession of something. My books are mine, your books are yours, his books are his, her books are hers, its books are its, our books are ours, your books are yours, and their books are theirs. All right, so a quick review of the pronouns. Also, let's go with subject and verb agreement. We're going to make sure that we remember that some things, even though they sound plural, could be used as a singular subject and would have to have a singular verb. So we're going to look at these examples and then we'll get into our book. Spaghetti and meatballs. Would you need a singular or a plural verb? Hopefully you remember this is one set dish, so it would need a plural verb if this was a subject. Spaghetti and meatballs is a popular Italian food. Okay, what about the word civics? Hopefully you remember civics is a subject. It's used to represent a group of things in academia, but it's counted as one set thing. So civics is a subject that is taught in high schools and colleges. How about Heather and I? Would we want a singular or a plural verb? You should remember that it's plural because we've got the and, so it's combined. Heather and I, that makes two. That's a plural subject. How about Dan or Jim? You should remember we need a singular verb because that word or means it's either this one or this one. So either Dan or Jim is. And we always go with the one that's closest to the verb. Jim is singular, is. Dan or Jim is. We would want a singular one. So I'm going to erase that. If you would, turn to page 216 in your language books, and I'm going to pull that up. We're going to start with using verbs right at the top. If I can get my cord in. All right, let's see if this is going to show up properly. There we go. All right, so we've got using verbs, and the directions say if the sentence contains no error in the use of verbs, write correct in the blank. If it does contain an error in the use of verbs, write the correct form in the blank. So we're going to do the first three together, then I'm going to let you have time to finish the others, and we'll come back and check the answers. All right, so number one, Army men and civilians digged the Panama Canal. You should recognize that's definitely not correct. Digged is not an accurate form of that verb. All right, they dug the Panama Canal. How about sentence two? We have already ate the cookies Mom gave us. Remember, we never remove the helping verb. We keep that there and we choose the main verb form. So since have is there, we can't say we have already ate. We would have to change that to eaten. So neither of those were correct. Number three, cattle were lying in the shade of the trees. Now if you remember, we use those verb forms lie and lay. Lay is to place something, so you can't say cattle were laying. The correct form would be lying. So this one actually uses the correct verb. Go ahead and pause and do 4 through 8. Oh, no, you have 4 through 10. I'm going to make this up. Go ahead and do 4 through 10 on your own. Unpause it, and we will come back and check those. All right. Hopefully you finished. Let's go back and go over these. Number 4, have you ever wore the shirt I gave you? Remember, we don't remove the helping verb. That's not an option. Have you wore, all right? Or you ever wore. You're going to keep that. Have you ever worn the shirt I gave you should be the correct form. Number 5, several famous paintings were stolen from the museum. There's nothing wrong there. Paintings is plural. And you could say paintings were stolen, no problem. All right, number 6, Mr. Thompson has gone to Italy. There's no issue with that one there at all, so you should have correct. Number 7, during the flood, 3 people nearly drowned. Oh, please, heaven help us if you don't know. They did not drown. They drowned. All right. Number 8, I sat the groceries on the kitchen table. That would be interesting. Your mom probably would not like if you sat on the kitchen table. So how about we set the groceries? Number 9, he throwed the ball and the catcher caught it. Unless you're 3, you know we don't speak this way. You should have threw. And make sure you use the correct spelling. We want the correct through as the verb, not through as the preposition. All right, number 10, Andrew done it without thinking. Well, if you're talking like this, you definitely did that without thinking. Andrew did. Okay. So hopefully you have all of those correct and don't have to change any of them, but if you do, please fix those in your book. And we will move on to subject and verb agreement at the bottom of the page. Ooh. And I will erase this nonsense now. Okay. All right, so we're just going to cross out the incorrect form of the verb, and we're going to do the first 5 together. All right, macaroni and cheese. We just went over the examples of spaghetti and meatballs. Would you say macaroni and cheese makes or make a tasty side dish? Hopefully, you recognize that it's singular. Macaroni and cheese, dish, a dish. So that reminds us it's one singular thing together. Macaroni and cheese makes a tasty side dish. All right, neither eggs nor butter was or were to be found in the refrigerator. Okay. Remember, nor and or work the same thing. Neither this nor that. So we're using the one that's closest to the verb. Butter was, we have to cross out were. Neither eggs nor butter was to be found in the refrigerator. So remember, when we see that word nor or, okay, we're using singular. Okay, whatever is closest here is singular. If it was plural, then we could use plural, whatever is closest to the verb. Number 3, his boots and his saddle is or are decorated with silver. Again, because of that word and, it's saying together, we've got plural things. Boots and saddle are decorated with silver. Okay. Number 4, the car with all its accessories was or were sold at a discount. You've got to keep in mind what the subject is. Our subject is car. This is a prepositional phrase. Your subject will never be here. So it's car was. We need to cross out were. Number 5, the jury decides or decide the guilt or innocence of a person on trial. Yes, it's a group of people, but it's a very specific group, one unit. So this is singular. It needs a singular verb. The jury decides the guilt or innocence of a person on trial. Go ahead and finish number 6 through 15. It continues on to page 217 at the top. And then, again, we'll go over these answers together. So pause the video, cross out the incorrect verbs, and come back, and we'll check the answers together. And I will pull this up here. All right, unpausing. You should be finished. Let's go ahead and check the answers. You should have, when it's talking about there is one of those antique automobiles, okay, or there are one. Remember, this is not the subject. One is or one are. This is one of those out of order subject and verbs. Whenever we're starting with a there, that can't be the subject, so we look for after the verb. One is there of those antique automobiles. You could switch the order around a little bit to test yourself. Number 7, 9 weeks is the length. This is that clue that tells us we're using a unit of time, so it's one thing. 9 weeks is the length of the grading period at our school. That's pretty typical. Number 8, the trees on the left side of the street has or have been trimmed. Well, this is 2 prepositional phrases. Your subject is trees. Trees have. You should have crossed out has. Number 9, books makes or make faithful friends. We need a plural verb because this is a plural subject, books make. Number 10, Ethan says that he don't or doesn't like sauerkraut. Well, if Ethan's 2, he might say this. Ethan says that he doesn't like sauerkraut. I don't blame Ethan. That stuff's nasty. All right, let me get my other page up here. There we go. And zoom in. There we go. Hey, we've got a curved page again. It's very interesting. Let's get this stuff off of there. All right, the news comes on at 5:30. The news is considered a singular word. It's a set of news. So the news comes on. Campfire Girls was or were founded. Well, this is a unit, a group, an official name of a group. The Campfire Girls was, okay, just like if you said Boy Scouts, it's singular. Okay, the Campfire Girls was founded in 1910. All right, civics. Hey, we practiced with this. You should remember civics is the study of government. Number 14, is it here is or are the golf clubs behind this oak tree? Well, here's your subject.